Cloud 9000.
What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Everything 9000 podcast.
Bloody hot, mate.
Stop sweating, man.
I am sweating.
Have some respect for the viewers, bro.
What do you mean stop sweating? It's not up to me if I can just switch it off and on, mate. If it's hot, I'm going to sweat. I literally showered just before I came here. Even put on some oil and stuff, yeah, that I've recently started doing for my skin and that. And I'm still like gleaming.
Can you not put your arms on the table? You're putting oil all over the table.
No, it's not oil. It's just like, one of those body gel oils, coconut oil. Look how gleaming my arms look. It's nice, isn't it?
Mm. Your beard's glistening, but you should put beard oil on.
I have put bearded oil in it, thank you, mate.
Bearded oil?
Beard oil, yes.
Right.
Do you use beard oil, by the way? So I was getting a lot of like dry skin and dandruff in my beard when it grows.
Mm.
So every time I would like do this, it would just shake all down and stuff. It was
I'm not a pussy.
Right. So, well, you don't have a beard to begin with.
Right.
That could be the issue too.
No, that's
right. Your sparsely placed hairs on your face. I don't know if you would count it as a beard, but real men get like a good thick beard like myself. Have these issues, so normally you have to use like beard oil and stuff to kind of counter that, mate. Right. And I've started doing that more often now.
Your beard is lopsided though. Like your right cheek is so much more heavier than your left cheek.
Right.
Did you know that?
No. But are you talking about beard?
Face the camera. Face the camera so everyone can see, and I can take a picture. Go on, face the camera.
Right. So you're talking about you.
I want to show you this so that you can know.
No. So
okay, that's fine. So look here.
So you're telling me that my beard's lopsided, yeah?
No, mine's uneven, but yours is lopsided.
Right.
Mine's out of control. Yours is controllable, and you've not controlled it.
Right.
You look like Santa Claus on one side, and you look like Ajay Devgan on the other.
Right. Okay. Why Ajay Devgan? He must have a great.
He's got a nice beard.
Right.
And what's his name? No, Sunil Shetty.
Right. Yeah.
He's got a good beard.
He's got a sick beard, and Sunil
He's got
Shetty.
a mad beard.
You know what? Like that guy, I would want to look like him at his age. He's so fit. I mean, obviously, he's probably had like hair surgeries and stuff, all that. They all do, right? Yeah, all of those Bollywood stars and stuff. But still, like his beard, his hair, and his like body, the way he maintains himself is top class. Yeah, top class.
Should we start knocking off some things on the list? Yeah.
You don't want to knock off Sunil Shetty, mate? You sure?
You do. You just called him fit a second ago.
Literally, how old is he? He must be in his 60s.
Nah, he's in 50s, man.
Nah, he's got 2 kids, man. That one of his kids is married to KL Rahul.
Yeah, I know.
62. He was born on the 11th of August, 1961, so he'll be actually 63 in a month's time.
That's cute. Right. Well, there's one thing.
Wait, how does this guy look like he's 62, man?
Is that your wallpaper?
It will be. As like inspiration.
That is something you'd put on your wallpaper.
Yeah, 100% inspo, bro. There, but go on, let's talk about
There's one thing, since our last pod, the clips have just become just like viral, but for not good reasons.
Oh, okay.
Cucucurella. Have you seen them?
Yeah.
This guy, do you not just find that clip just like, it just pisses you off on another level? Estrella, paella. Yeah. I'll be going to sleep here, and that sound is just reverberating in my
To be
head.
honest, I've only ever heard it, like, I've only seen it twice, maybe. That's because I have been on a self-imposed Instagram absence. Like,
I know you came off that, buddy.
No, I told you I go on Instagram like on the weekends for about a couple of hours. That's when I message you.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So I've not been like kind of like seen it everywhere. But
I'll tell you. Basically, people are posting clips of them being in the gym on their last set, literally burnt out, nothing more to give. And that's it. Cucucurella just comes into their head. Gives them the extra motivation. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. I've just seen a video of him doing it, like Cucucurella. What was it? How does it go? The first one is.
I don't want to know how it goes. That's the most annoying bit. That bit is just stuck in my head. It doesn't matter how the rest is.
He was clearly drunk when he was doing it, so wasn't he? Like Cucucurella.
I'll literally be going. I'll be going about my day. Yeah.
And then
Alright, can you stop? Just stop. Just stop. Alright, just stop. Alright, just stop, bro. You look worse than him doing it. And that is something.
I'm going to keep saying this to you.
No, but you look worse than him. I'll be going about my day smiling, having a great time. Full Kanye, I'll just drop character.
Right.
Pisses me off because it comes into my head. This guy, I can't get rid of it. It's annoying. Like, I was actually going to sleep last night, yeah. Before I went to bed, I was like, why the fuck is this in my head?
All right. But I don't think people have been deep in it as much as you have. I think you've found some sort of like a special attachment to it than other people.
No, trust me.
If you were thinking about it...
The United Kingdom has united on this front.
Right.
Trust me. Cucucurella is arch enemy number one.
The worst thing is Cucucurella. Like, I mean, so it's not even his name. His name's Cucucurella. I don't know why I call him
Cucucurella.
That's what everyone's going to call him from now on, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's going
to get mad hate this season.
You reckon?
100 million%.
Nah, I think he's going to be loved by the people after that.
Give it a rest, mate. What? Them Chelsea fans?
Yeah. Mate. They're going to be singing Cucucurella off the fucking rooftops, mate. I'm telling you.
Nah.
They will be.
Nah.
Cucucurella, I mean...
Maybe Chelsea fans, yeah, but trust me. Not the Argent Chelsea fans, the bald heads with the big head.
They'll all sing Cucucurella.
Fucking Spanish prick. You beat us in the final. Fuck off.
Nah, they'll be singing...
That's what they're going to say.
I'm telling you.
That's what they're going to say.
Cucucurella is going to make a major sort of like inroads.
Trust me, other fans, you heard it here first, I promise you he will get hate.
Right.
People are looking forward to that first crunching tackle against Cucucurella.
Right.
I can't wait for it. Bring on the Premier League so I can just watch him play, get an absolute mauled.
Yeah.
I don't know, bring Van Dijk, just headbutt him in the head, Zidane style. Yeah, in the stomach, just do it.
I don't think Van Dijk gives a shit. But I reckon Cucucurella will kick off as a song in the Premier League in the new season. You heard it here first.
Do you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, man. Talking of like celebrations, by the way, I don't know if you want to go into this or not.
Go on.
Firstly, there was a bit problem with the Spanish team as well, like celebrating, and they was chanting like Gibraltar is like Spanish.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's a bit like. Have you seen like how political these football state like celebrations are getting?
Everyone's like you, bro. They can't stop mixing politics with football.
No, but then also like Argentina. I mean, let's not even talk about fucking Enzo Hernandez.
Oh yeah, I didn't follow the story, but I saw the clip and I saw that he was being investigated on the back of it.
Also, the whole story is that they were singing this song that the fans came up with during the final. You know, when Argentina beat France, basically, and it's the premise is essentially saying that look, all of your players, they're not even French. They you know, they have like Angolan mothers, they have like Caribbean fathers or like African fathers and stuff, right? Yeah, but a French passport, basically, right? So it's very like racially aggravated, and it's just basically saying to the French team essentially that you're not French, basically, right? That's the whole premise, and that's like the racism behind it. Essentially, when they start naming, like saying you're African, etc. So obviously, it's a fan-made song, and then Enzo Fernandez, the whole team bus it will be, because there's a few big names that were there, and there were some people that were visible on camera, i.e. Enzo Fernandez, he was recording and stuff, and they were chanting these kind of like racist songs and stuff, and then they were celebrating. Caused a huge outcry because basically his teammate, Chelsea teammate Wesley Fofana, sort of posted on Twitter, recorded it, posted on Twitter saying uninhibited like racism. So you could see the tension that's going to be in the Chelsea dressing room anyway. Firstly, to begin with,
Chelsea's done.
Yeah.
Add Cucucurella to that.
Yeah.
You got a problem,
but this is a lot more serious. So Chelsea said, okay, we're going to investigate this, and he'll probably get a slap in the wrist.
Messi straight posted an alibi on Twitter. Picture of him on the beach somewhere. Distance himself.
But you know the worst thing is, well, like, so the sports minister had said, okay, we will need Messi to apologise for this, okay, yeah, right, and because he's the team captain, obviously, and then the vice president, the deputy, and then the president is like a full right wing nutter. He's like, I don't give a fuck, and even the person under him, she basically came out and said, look, it's a celebration. We'll not be lectured by colonists and stuff on racism and all that. So she's full on saying that she supports this sort of celebration, but it's unacceptable in today's world. I mean, those players are going to go back to their clubs. It will be interesting to see how that dynamic's going to play down. They'll probably end up getting a couple of match bans, I think, yeah. But other than that, like, nothing major is going to happen.
I'm happy Garnacho wasn't visible in the video.
Yeah, I mean, Messi wasn't visible in the video as well. Like, that'd be a huge thing if they caught Messi saying all that.
Yeah. Well, you know, on this similar wave, Bella Hadid, she's got it in with Adidas, right? She's apparently assembling a team of lawyers now to sue Adidas.
Really? Yeah. So the whole background to that is basically like she was in a campaign for Adidas that were kind of promoting, for the Olympics. And the thing is, it kind of was tied in with the Olympics in Germany in the 1970s. And the context to that is in that year, basically a group of Palestinian militants, I think they were from the Black September group, basically, right? Yeah, had kind of like gone into the Olympic Village and essentially kidnapped and assassinated like 11 athletes, Israeli athletes. And that was like a major event basically. And all the basically captors, the Israelis, were killed, essentially all the athletes. And I think some of the assailants managed to get away. Actually, a lot of them did. And then, have you watched the film Munich? It's got Daniel Craig, and I would recommend watching it. Basically, it's about like how it starts off with that obviously event, but then the Assad essentially went after those terrorists, and everybody associated with it, and they ended up killing like hundreds and hundreds of like militants on the back of that essentially as well. Right. So it was kind of like a down the drain. But then the whole kind of outcry about it is because Bella Hadid obviously is Palestinian, you know, in her background, and she's very like vocal in her support for Palestine, especially in the last couple of years, in the last year or so. So I think Israel had kind of like taken offense to the fact that why is she being fronted on the on an Adidas advert that is actually contextualized in the sense of that's based on the 96 Olympics, given what's happened in 96 Olympics.
Hold on, slow down now. So I think I've kind of got it, but explain it to me fully. I've got the context regarding the 1976 Olympics and what happened there with the Israeli athletes being captured
and assassinated.
So what Adidas has done now, it has put Bella Hadid on the face of a campaign. How has that campaign related to the 1976
Because I
Olympics?
believe this the stuff that they're releasing now is like it related to the 76. So like it's kind of like it's like a retro sort of thing that they've gone for.
And it's specifically a throwback to 76.
I believe so. You can double check, but I do understand that to be the case, and that's why there was like a huge outcry from Israel about it.
Right.
As to like why is Bella Hadid basically the face of this when if you're basing it on the 1976 Olympics or so on, and we've had that sort of thing. Just double check if it is the case, because I'm pretty certain that is the reason why Israel... hold on, Bella Hadid. You should come up with Bella Hadid anyway. But I'm pretty certain Adidas faced criticism. Yeah, oh, sorry, it's not 76, 72, by the way. That I thought it was 72, but I don't know. So German sports giant Adidas come under fire after dropping Palestinian American supermodel Bella Hadid from an advertising campaign for its SL72 sneakers, which were first launched during the 1972 Olympics. So that's what the connection is to the Olympics that we are talking about, and that's when the whole thing happened with the Palestinian September Black group, essentially, and that's why they've kind of like been an outcry to it.
So it's a bit of a shame because Bella Hadid has been very much at the forefront of, you know, she was one of the first people to bring sambas into this like general trend that we see now. Every Tom, Dick and Harry. I mean, you've got sambas now. I mean, if you've got sambas, then it means the trend has been
I've always wore those type of shoes.
So but you bought those sambas 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, but I've always...
When did you buy them?
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. There you go, buddy. So you bought into the trend 3 weeks ago.
I didn't buy into the trend.
Let me get my point out here. You bought the sambas 3 weeks ago, succumbing to the trend, which shows that the trend has been absolutely, truly rinsed out.
Right.
Having said this, Bella Hadid wore those reddy, orangey, salmony, coloury sambas. They look very good. They were one of the first sambas that I've seen in recent times, whilst the trend's been going. I thought, okay, do you know what? They actually look quite good. So props to Bella Hadid for that. You, by the way, you got the Rishi Sunak ones, the ones that he promoted and made famous in the UK. But side point. Okay. But it's a shame because Bella Hadid has clearly done a lot there for Adidas in terms of making Adidas
essentially she's been removed basically because of the support for Palestine, and then also the fact that these sneakers were actually just a reimagination of the 1972 Olympics, and then the whole sensitivity with that being is that's when there was a huge terrorist attack on the Israeli team. It's actually really fucked up, that attack, if you think about it. You know what they did? So there was a group of about 12 people, I think. It was basically from the Black September group, essentially, a splinter cell. Back then, Hamas didn't really exist, basically. It was, I think Hamas existed a lot later after that anyway. But then what they did was there's a group of them went into the Israeli village, and so they dressed up as athletes, and they had these tracksuits on, they had these bags and stuff. So they just walked through. Security thought they were just athletes that had just gone out and just coming back into the hotel. Come into the hotel, opened their bags, had AK-47s and stuff.
That's crazy.
And then they went straight to the Israeli part of the village, basically, right? And then knocked on the doors and stuff. And then they pointed the guns at one of the Israeli coaches. And that person, and they were basically like saying, tell me where all the other Israelis are.
Yeah.
And that person very cleverly basically led them away from the athletes that were like, running athletes and stuff, and led them to like the wrestlers' room. So the Israeli wrestlers, just thinking that the wrestlers would stand a better chance against the terrorists than like your normal athletes that are runners and stuff. So he did that, but then obviously they killed a few people on the spot. They then kidnapped them, and then there was a huge like international event about it. They then said, okay, we've got these demands that, you know, you need to release these prisoners and we'll let these guys go. Otherwise, if you don't, we'll just kill them all. And then they demanded that they be flown out with, then they demanded for a plane, that they be flown out, essentially. And then they were given a plane, right? And then that's when the authorities, the German authorities, like, had a huge mess up. They made a huge meal of this because it was in Germany. So the Germans agreed to give him a plane.
Are you telling me the movie, by the way? Munich?
No.
Because I know you would have got most of this off the movie.
No, so this is not from the movie.
Make sure you don't ruin the movie for me.
No, so this is generally what I've read and like what I've heard and stuff, right? Yeah. So they took him to the airport. There, they replaced the crew members of the plane with actual like like force, basically, right? And then they thought they could take the terrorists at that point. But then it ended up being a huge mess, and the terrorists ended up killing everybody, basically, that they had kidnapped.
I mean, that's an L from Adidas, to be honest. Because you know what? I think in the last couple of years, they'd come back with the whole Sambas trend.
Yeah,
of becoming a cool brand.
I think Adidas should have realised from the start that perhaps getting Bella Hadid for this may not be suitable, given the history behind the 1972 Olympics, and also given Bella Hadid's obvious political stance on things. So I think that was like a huge marketing disaster from them.
100%, man. But do you know what? Actually, I saw there's a YouTuber called Calyx. And he's quite big. He's in the circles of like the Sidemen, KSI, etc. He's got a shoe clothing brand called it's a shoe brand called No Two Ways, and he had people approach him to not only work with him but to buy them out, etc. Do deals with them. They'd send contracts over to him, and one of the clauses, I need to word this rightly to you, man. But it's just crazy what some of these contracts say nowadays in terms of marketing and what you should and shouldn't be doing. Let me see if I can find this now. I'm not going to find it now, but it essentially said that you need to do something outrageous enough until you get some pushback from the public. Like that's a clause in a contract to market the product.
Oh, so you're saying like basically even if it's negative publicity, that's what they want?
Yeah. It's that commonplace now. You see it with these Balenciagas and stuff all the time with children and, you know, covering them in red paint like they're in hell or whatever, what the hell's going on. Until you get some real pushback, they're like, okay, now let's move on to the next. That's actually the aim in the fashion industry. Yeah,
it is, isn't it? I mean, like, you do want to get noticed. And I don't think this Adidas thing was intentional, though, I think. I would never put anything past Adidas and big companies like that, but I think this is something that's a bit too... I don't think they would risk offending like a whole... basically the Israelis essentially over this.
Right.
So I think this was a genuine blunder on their part, which they just didn't add one and one together basically, and then until they realised it was too bloody late. I don't know what your take would be on that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, there's talking of marketing, I was reading this article actually yesterday about, KSI and Paul Logan.
Logan Paul.
Oh, sorry, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I was reading an article about them, how they basically create like a huge, how the whole craze about Prime last year.
Yeah.
You bought into it. You were like, oh, I need to get a Prime and all that.
Well, no. So I didn't buy into it. I wanted to try the product.
So, okay. So,
well, don't get me wrong. They're billionaires off the back of it.
I don't know if they are they?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
Prime has been the fastest growing company to the extent that it's rivaling Gatorade and Lucozade in the US.
Yeah. So basically, the person that did marketing for them essentially had said that limiting the product is actually a very great way of like...
100%. Demand and supply.
Demand and supply, but then you limit it so people think it's a scarce product, and then they would obviously... But 100%. Then it leads to people like ripping each other off. Like, for example, like Wakey Wines. And then people selling the Prime bottles on like internet for about £2,000 and stuff.
100%.
But it's not. So on the one face of it, KSI publicly said that they didn't do this on purpose. But then the marketing team had said...
Well, KSI, he comes out and does videos all the time on YouTube, and he actually hates that people resell.
I don't think he does. I think he obviously has to say he hates it, right? But generally, I think that has been a strategy from the Prime team to basically limit it so that it creates more sort of a buzz as opposed to it. But then KSI has always said that that's never been like a clear or like an intended strategy, but the marketing team have said that this is the kind of like modus operandi that we operate on, i.e. create scarcity in the product, and then it kind of like increases demand.
Last year they made $250 million worth of sales
in revenue from it.
Yeah,
I don't doubt it, but it is what it is, isn't it? Like, they use these shit tactics because they're so popular, like YouTubers, right? The biggest YouTubers in the world. Obviously, they're going to have like huge hype around it anyway, and especially if it then becomes scarce.
Messi ripped it off. Did you see? Messi released literally the same drink called Mass right. Plus or something. Have you not seen that?
Nah. But Messi's obviously not as big on marketing as these guys are. I mean, these guys would put Prime everywhere.
Okay, so you know what Prime looks like, right?
Yeah.
That's what Messi's drink looks like.
That's Messi's drink? Mm. No way. Oh, I have seen one of these before bottles somewhere around.
No, you've seen the Prime bottle. You've not seen Mass Plus.
When did Mass Plus get out?
Literally only recently. Like, this was like a month ago this happened.
Ah, okay. But I haven't... Is it on Messi's Instagram?
Mate, this is Messi's thing, man. What you want about... Look, there you go. What more do you want?
Oh, interesting. Let me just type in Messi. Let me see. I'm just saying...
What the hell are you? Do you not believe what I'm telling you?
No, it's not that I don't believe. I'm just saying, like, why is he not promoting it as these guys are? Like, obviously...
his promotion is copying Prime. That's all he's done.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I can't see it anywhere on Messi's Instagram, like him actively promoting it. Maybe it's just money laundering his thing.
Tax evasion.
Tax evasion.
Allegedly. Yeah, man. Yo, did you want to say something about Diljit?
Oh, yeah. Have you been listening or following that?
Nah.
So, not to upset like a lot of people, obviously.
Upset the man. Upset people, fuck him.
No, I love Diljit, man. I do love Diljit.
Okay, go on.
Right. And I do think where criticism is, due, you obviously critique that. So he's been called out for not paying his backup dancers on his tours.
Disgusting. Go on, continue.
Yeah, I think it is as well. So
this is giving me shades of Rahat Fateh Ali Khan without the violence.
No, that shit was next level, man.
That's what I said, without the violence. Yeah. Without the chappal.
So this one person in the US, I don't know, I think he's some sort of like owns like some sort of agency or something, right? Yeah, related to Bhangra. I believe that to be the case. But then he basically said like all of these dancers that act as backup dancers for Diljit on his his current tour that he's doing, the Illuminati one.
The Illuminati one.
Yeah, and basically that they've not been paying the backup dancers. And then there was another group I saw on Instagram that made a statement on behalf of all dancers, right? Yeah, saying that you don't understand the value that Diljit brings to the culture, etc., and that we feel like honored to be a part of his entourage and like to do dance for him. It kind of elevates our image as well when we do it. But in there nowhere did it mention that the fact that they basically not expressly, but they kind of admitted that they haven't been paid for the work that they've done, but they've said that we don't actually care about being paid. It's more so about the visibility that we get from him, and also
there's groups London Way, I'm pretty sure maybe Kips part of one VP Bhangra.
Exactly. And I was just wondering if I doubt they haven't been paid as well.
I don't think they give a shit if Diljit is paying them. They're just gassed to be there.
Exactly. But then do you think that is the right thing though?
100% not.
As an artist, if you're making millions and millions anyway, right, which Diljit does, he sells these tickets for like £100 plus. That's the cheapest ticket that you get.
Mate, these tickets this time, he was pulling mad prices. I saw people were booking Diljit tickets. They were in the hundreds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the cheapest, you probably start at 100. That's like, you know, if you get it from the official thing.
Yeah.
Even like standing up right at the back is probably like 70. It probably starts from about £75 normally.
Yeah.
For these type of, like singers. So you're pulling in a great deal of money. And I think even if you just give a pinch of that, like a little grain of salt.
Yeah, a Bhangra group, just give him like a couple £100,
yeah,
£300.
Exactly. Not in that, just a contribution towards the group itself, so they can actually buy something for themselves,
as opposed to like
food, whatever. Not even like paying individual Bhangra dancers, which I think they should do anyway. But even if they could just make a contribution to their group,
that's what I'm saying. £200-300 to the group. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, even more than that. Like if you're making millions, I mean, I think
that's enough.
About £500-600 wouldn't be a miss.
No, they're not that good.
No, jokes aside.
They don't deserve more.
No, jokes aside, like...
I'm not joking.
No, but, okay, whatever your views on that, but generally...
I'm not joking.
The fact that you don't pay them anything at all, I think that's a very desi mentality. That's a very, very desi thing. Like, chalo koi gal nahi, aajo. Photo ka chale. That's how, do a group photo with them.
That's it.
So, it's a bit bad, I think. I mean, the person who kind of is now on that world level stage, when he talks about, like, doing the right thing and doing right by...
Does he talk about doing the right thing?
Yeah, he was always talking about like spirituality and like how he basically doesn't get into ego. But
how do you know that's him personally dealing with the whole matters and not he's probably got a team of 50 dealing with all these stuff?
Yeah, but then so you should be responsible. You should ensure that the people that work with you are well kind of like looked after, especially if they're going to elevate your performance on stage, right? So if he's performing alone, like imagine that. He needs those backup dancers at Coachella. He needed those people behind him. So he didn't pay those people at Coachella either, apparently.
Really?
Apparently, anyway. So, yeah. So imagine that. The people that elevate your performance and how you come across and why people come and pay and watch you, ultimately, right, yeah, it's the performance element that they bring. They back you up and you're not going to pay them. I think that's a bit of a shameful act. It's a very desi mentality to say, chalo koi gal nahi. Roti kha lyo. Jande, you know, you just feed them roti, that's it, nothing else. Koi gal nahi, aajo. Program day. But we laugh about it, but it's actually fucked, you know, when you deep it.
You know, on these tours, I'm going to give a wild view here, yeah. You know, on these tours, when you break down these tours, you don't realise how much of that money is allocated to stupid shit that actually burns through what Diljit should be making.
Yeah.
I.e. the tour bus, i.e. the 27 rolls of toilet roll that all the team has. Like, literally... If you see a statement, I've seen some artists, new artists, independent artists, sign a deal for a tour and they've come out and broken down where all these stupid little costs go.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing is...
But you're not going to break the bank if you pay your backup dancers, mate. Despite that.
That's another cost.
It's another cost, but it's another cost that elevates your performance. Like, don't forget... the
toilet roll is elevating my performance.
No.
If I don't go for a shit, I can't perform.
I mean, don't even like go there, man. You can't compare.
You can't compare the go to the toilet every half an hour. You're saying the toilet roll is not important?
No, it's important.
What's more vital for your performance? You're Diljit. You need to shit every half an hour. What's more vital, toilet roll or the backup dancer?
You're having a laugh.
Stop being so uptight and
it's not about being uptight. Like. It's not being about.
You are being so uptight. Listen, if I'm Diljit,
you're comparing backup dancers.
And I have a choice between a backup dancer and toilet roll.
You
take a toilet roll every day.
You would pay for both because it's not that much. In the grand scheme of things, if you're going to be raking in millions from that one, just from ticket sales,
this is my point.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds, right? Yeah, you're going to be raking a lot of money. Don't forget, Diljit's not doing these concerts at a fucking loss, is he? He's obviously doing them at a huge fucking profit.
Yeah. Okay. This website says he makes 4 crore a show.
Yeah,
4 crore being what, 400k?
Yeah, but
pounds.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's gross.
No, I don't think that's probably chart. I don't think he makes just that much.
That's for private shows.
Exactly. So that's how much he charges for private shows, I reckon.
Let's try and find it.
Rather than what his income and revenue is for each shows that he does.
That's what I'm trying to find. But the thing is, he's probably signed a deal for X million to do X number of shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to get that figure.
I know. I suppose you know. But generally speaking, I think he'll find money in there to pay backup dancers if you would really look for it.
Obviously, Amrit. Obviously.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you got to look at the toilet roll.
Right. And then I think, you know, Manpreet too.
Yeah.
She weighed in this as well. She was saying, like, I don't want to take sides, but it's a bit shameful if you're not paying your artists as well. And then a lot of people, the reaction, I saw the comments on that post that she posted a couple of days ago. A lot of people were just saying, why are you bringing another Punjabi singer, man? Like, what's this? So the reaction to her statement supporting the backup dancers was very, very negative from the general public, if you look at the comments, man.
Do you know what the thing is? I'm not saying this is the case in this situation. Obviously, backup dancers, whatever, yeah, should get paid. Of course, yeah. And he's the leading Punjabi artist. He's creating revenue and opportunities for the likes of Bhangra to be displayed to a lot of people. Look at the positive net value there. You know, if he's at Coachella in America on one of the biggest concerts of the year, and he's got Bhangra performers there, think of the opportunity of them flying out to America and performing at that venue.
Yeah,
would they ever have the opportunity to do that?
No, I get.
What about the value there?
No, the value there is great, but I think a little bit of appreciation from your end, because not only that, you're giving an opportunity for Bhangra to be displayed, that's great, but then also you have to realise what those Bhangra dancers bring to your performance as well. It elevates your performance to another level, basically, right? Compared to you being standing there alone.
Yeah, I think it takes it from 95 to 99.
No, I think it takes it from like...
Diljit could be on stage a cappella with a guitar and still have an amazing show.
I think so, but if he's performing the songs that he wants to perform that require Bhangra, that requires that sort of bump, right? I think that takes the performance, if he was there alone, from like a 20% to 90%. I think that's the huge difference.
That's exaggerating. I think that's exaggerating.
No, it's exaggerating, but I think it does make.
Give me the percentage. I would say 95 to 99. So
I would say from 50 to 90.
Nah, bullshit. You're not buying a Diljit Dosanjh ticket, to see a backup dancer.
No, but you're buying it to see like a full experience where you're going to get full pump and where Diljit really gets into the bhangra with the group as well.
I think you see artists all the time. You see artists like Drake, 21 Savage, Travis Scott. Travis Scott is the biggest bump artist, right, in the hip hop scene, right? And he does, like, his crowd goes in mosh pit raves, like that is the vibe. Every single show is him.
Yeah.
Up and down on stage. If Diljit really wanted to do that, right, I'm not saying that's the style of his music, but you're saying, with these bump songs, he could bust a few moves and it would still be a 90% show.
No, I think it'd be still a very good show, but if you look at the shows, like, for example, let's look at Beyonce, right, yeah? Beyonce makes a huge show of actually making the show itself. So she brings in all these, like, fucking lights, all these effects.
But make no mistake, Beyonce is center stage. Beyonce is the thing that everyone wants to look at.
Exactly, but the dancers help around her. The whole performance that she brings in, the illusion that she creates, is made by those dancers as well.
The max I'll go is 90 to 95.
No, and it's same for Diljit. Diljit is that the center person in the middle.
Doesn't drop below 90. Doesn't drop
in
below 90.
In my view, it drops well below 90.
That is... You would literally, if there were no backup dancers, you would go home and be like, do you know what? Diljit was amazing. He sang so good. You know what? I loved all the songs, the track list, the set list, the way he performed it. But you know what? I'm not happy, man, because the backup dancers weren't there.
No, but it's not about reflecting on what was not there. It's reflecting on, like, if, for example, you saw a performance where you didn't feel that bump as much as you would have done if, for example, the experiences is different, isn't it? Like, even Satinder Sartaaj sometimes brings on dancers, man, and his music is totally different, and that elevates everything itself as well. So it's the whole image that you have and the image of your music and how you kind of then present it to the world. It's better presented with people dancing around it and you kind of getting into that vibe yourself, because Diljit very much gets into the bhangra and stuff when he performs.
I think Diljit has kind of undoubtedly become like the number one guy. Maybe I don't know who's close to him.
Nobody in the Punjabi scene. Nobody.
Not Karnojla.
I think he's a couple of steps below yet.
So okay, I think it's fair to say Diljit is that guy now. He's having almost a similar run to like how Drake was.
Yeah,
and Drake got to a point where people started to envy the number one guy because everyone always says that's human nature. Yeah, that's how it's going to be.
Diljit is, but then
so
I think
is this the start of picking apart number one?
No, I think this is
because 2 years ago Diljit could have done the same thing. No one would have batted an eyelid.
I don't think it's the case. I think obviously Diljit is in the news because his tour is like the biggest ever and it sold out. Like that show in Toronto, where it was like the biggest ever show for like a Punjabi concert, whatever, right? Yeah. So there is that added element of like the huge star that he is, and he's going to be under a lot of more scrutiny than he would be.
That's it.
Before.
That's it.
But then if he's going, just because he's under a lot more scrutiny and just because you pick out something that is wrong doesn't mean that it already invalidates it simply because he's the biggest star and you think you're trying to bring him down. So I think you should look at where criticism is due. You shouldn't turn away from it simply because you think, you're only picking at him because he's the biggest star than Karnojla. You're not saying that about Karnojla. Karnojla may not be paying his artists as well. But that's the whole point. The person who is in the limelight, it's the government that runs the country that you would ask questions of, not the opposition, you know what I mean? So it's the person that is the biggest that you would say, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing right and what are you doing wrong, right? So I think it's not the case of saying that you're picking apart somebody because they're too big. I think it's kind of like narrows it down a bit too much.
Did you see Hardik Pandya?
Guys, we have a bit of a roller coaster of a life, hasn't he, at the moment? This year, or at least, anyway. Huge roller coaster.
Up, down, and the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
Exactly. Firstly, he got made Mumbai captain. High, very high for him, right?
But also a low.
Exactly. Then the low came in when he just got booed. Basically hated by everybody in the Mumbai team, like the fans, just extensively. So there's the high, there's the low. Then he won the World Cup. Obviously came back into the team, the highest of the highs. But then obviously he was having like troubles with his partner the whole time and stuff. So I think it was coming for a long time that he was getting divorced and stuff, and they'd unfollowed each other on Instagram. But now they've confirmed a divorce, again low, in the space of what, about 5-6 months. It's nuts, isn't it?
That's nuts.
It is nuts.
That's nuts. Obviously we don't know what's gone on, and I was looking into this though. There's some stuff around I think prenups are not really valid in Indian law.
Really?
Yeah, so I was reading into this. So it's like, yeah, prenups are not legally binding in India. So any pre-marriage agreement between Pandya and Natasa will
be invalidated, basically. But I understand from like previous interviews he's done that he actually never...
Alimony would be 25% of their husband's net income.
Right.
That's big.
Yeah. I mean, it should be too. You know, obviously. But we'll not get into that conversation, but generally talking about Pandya, I think from the, like, a lot of people are now like resurfacing his old interviews where he said that he doesn't actually own anything in his own name, everything in his mum's name. So apparently his brother, Krunal Pandya, and him and his dad actually have hardly anything in their own name. Everything is in the mum's name, essentially.
That's smart.
Smart, yeah. It's a bit like, you know, Hakimi, you know, the Real Madrid player.
Ashraf Hakimi, yeah.
He got divorced.
Real Madrid?
Or PSG?
PSG.
Didn't he play for Real Madrid?
I don't think so.
Okay. Or maybe he's been linked with them. But yeah, PSG player, Ashraf Hakimi. He basically turned out when she filed for divorce that actually he's got nothing in his name, not even the clothes that he wears. They're all in his mum's name. It's nuts, isn't it?
That's smart, though.
She ended up getting nothing. But I do think there's also an element of like trickery there. Whilst I understand that you as a person may not want to give away like 70% of your income or whatever, like, because the media was saying like he'll lose about 70% of his assets. So whilst I understand that that is a bit excessive.
What's your thoughts on prenups for Punjabis?
Prenups for Punjabis? It just depends. Like, I got married and it never crossed my mind. But I think if somebody's a bit insecure about themselves and insecure about the relationship, for example, that they're going into, right? And they think, okay, well, I want to protect these assets and stuff. I think they're within their...
No, so then is that about insecurity or is that about how much wealth you have?
It's a mixture of both. You could be a billionaire and be completely secure in the partner you're marrying.
We're not talking for the billionaires here. We're talking for the mass Punjabi.
Right. No, I'm just saying, like, for example, like, I think a prenup would not be needed if you kind of like, you know, don't have many assets anyway. People just kind of...
A lot of Punjabis are making P, bro.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
In England, in Canada, in America.
Even if you think that you've made money and it's worth protecting, and I think... And then it comes down to the insecurity that you have in the person that you're marrying. Like, how much trust do you have? Are you going with actual 100% trust, if there's ever a thing of 100% trust? Or are you going in possibly thinking, well, okay, we're getting married, but I can see these and these issues becoming a problem further down the line. So really, I want to protect my assets. And in those cases, people do. But that's the whole point of a prenup.
But then the thing is, I just think if you're getting a prenup, you're almost setting yourself up for failure.
I do think to that. That's my personal belief. But I think in terms of morality behind a prenup, I do get why some people would want to do it. I personally would think, okay, well...
I think it depends how rich you are.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for instance, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's not married, right? No, he's not got a prenup. Yeah, he's not married.
He's not married, yeah. But if he was to get married, 100% that guy's getting a prenup.
No, but prenups are only valid to an extent in court.
Yeah.
It depends which court it is and up to what percentage it helps
what I'm trying to say to you is a person like Cristiano Ronaldo of that wealth and of a person of that sort of like ego would get a prenup. I mean, whether it's...
Well, it depends, unless he's getting married to Rihanna, who's equally a billionaire. Do you see what I'm saying there?
But even in those instances, then both parties get a prenup. So I'm pretty sure, like, you know, Robert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch.
Sorry, Rupert Murdoch, yeah. He gets prenups with all of his wives and stuff. So, like, a lot of prenups works like if you're married for this amount of years, you'll get this percentage, and if you kind of like stay married for longer, you get more and more percentage. So that's how kind of prenups generally work. I mean, I have no idea about family law. I've never drafted one of these, but generally that's the understanding behind prenups. The longer the marriage goes on, the more percentage that is allowed essentially for the other partner, whoever is like the one kind of like entering into it. So it's interesting. But I think with the Punjabi community, especially with our thinking, I think I would say 90% people would probably be deterred from it compared to that more so the new generation of Punjabis that have made a lot of money and want to see ways to protect that money essentially. But I do think...
So you think we'll have more prenups coming into the community?
I think so, yeah. I think so, especially as we move away from like further down like, you know, line essentially from our kind of descendants and stuff, like from our parents. Like prenups was never like a thing in our parents type of thing. I don't think prenups are that kind of
prevalent. But dowry was.
Dowry is a huge thing back then.
And we moved away from dowry.
Yeah. Ish. In India, people still do it. And even to an extent in the UK, people still do it. I think one way or another. Yeah, I would say
I've never heard of one.
It's not classed as dowry anymore. It's classed as gifts.
So give me an example.
I don't know, like just gifting your like the other party like loads of gold and stuff, or like saying, "Oh, we'll give you this much money as a gift" and stuff. That's
no, but gifts to some extent happen.
No, gifts happen.
Like
but
you get gold to both sides.
So you do give gold to an extent, yes, but sometimes it becomes a bit excessive. You know, one tradition is to give gold to the bride, right?
Yeah.
So that is, you know, your nanke will give a gold set to your wife, essentially, right?
That's it. That's what we're talking about.
That's a gift in itself. That's not a dowry. The dowry.
So then, you see how you're not making it clear for me because you say, "No, yeah, they gift gold."
No, but what the dowry, the way it works now is like, so the girl's family will gift these certain items to the boy's family or whatever. That's how dowry works these days.
I've never heard of that. I don't know where you've heard that. I've never heard of that. Not here. Not happening in nowadays.
Yeah, it does happen, man. I'm telling you, it happens. Especially in India, they'll be like, "Oh, we're gonna gift." Like, you literally go to furniture shops in India, right? Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about India.
No, I'm just talking about generally in India, the prevalent sort of practice. You go to shops and stuff. They have these wedding sets, so they'll be like, "Okay, you can buy a bed, almari, sofa, all this huge set for like so and so amount of money," and that's seen as the gift which is the dowry the girl's family.
It used to be like a tractor, or back in the day it was like a car
or a scooter. So yeah, so all of these type of things, and then even these days it's even like cash and stuff. People be like, "Oh, you just give me that much cash, I'll do whatever." In India, another prevalent thing is like they will say, "Okay, we'll give you this, we'll buy you tickets to go to abroad and stuff, all that." So it's still like a very huge problem. And I think to an extent in the UK it remains a problem where a girl's family will be expected to sort of like give gifts or in gold. I don't think it's a problem to the extent that it's expected from the girl's side now. I don't think that's the status quo. To an extent, it still remains the case.
But so, to an extent, what does that mean? Give me a percentage. What does that mean?
It'd be hard to place a percentage on it because...
Okay, but if you were speaking roughly, like we were putting percentages on Diljit not paying his... how much his performance would be affected.
Too much. Like, I think it's... I have no idea. I've never looked into...
I would say that's like 5% of cases.
I think it's more than 5%.
What would you say?
I think if you know, sometimes you'll be surprising like how much people that speak English in the UK that have been here for years and years, how backwards their mentality is when it comes to things like these. You'd be surprised. Honestly, you would be surprised. Thankfully, I've not experienced it in my family, right, personally, but I have seen it amongst other families, right, where you think somebody speaks English, somebody's really like forward looking on their viewpoints because they've lived in the UK for 30, 40 years. They speak perfectly well, the good English and all that, right? Yeah, but their thinking sometimes very much comes back to, well, okay, backwards, man. I've seen that with loads of different families, and it kind of surprises you every time.
Give me a number then.
It's hard to say a number.
20.
Yeah, I would easily say 20, easily 20%. As we've moved kind of further away from the attachments that we've had to our culture, I think, you know, in our generation, our generations to come, it will be a lot, obviously less, but I think there is still a lot of like staunch sort of like backwardness within the Punjabi community in the UK, 100%, without any doubt at all.
Sort of jumping ship back to sports here, I saw a Mirror article which was saying a lot of the England camp were happy to get away from Bellingham. Obviously Southgate got sacked.
Yeah.
In the last episode, we were umming and ahhing if he would. That has happened now, thank God. And since then, the whole wave of emotion has been, "Oh, Gareth, you've done so well." And, you know, everyone's just completely just changed narrative now and almost just like pussied out of their initial view, which was Gareth Southgate is playing boring football. He's too cautious. We need him out, right? Thank you for taking us this far. See you later now, mate. But now it's like, "Oh, Gareth, you were so great. Best manager since Sir Alf. This, that and the other." And now, obviously, like I said, the Mirror article, which was saying that the players just, I don't know, didn't really get on with Bellingham.
Really? Interesting. I think there's also like an element of Bellingham being the poster boy and also this do-good, like person who can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So there has that image that's kind of come in because I think like if you look at the coverage around Bellingham, in the press, within the
relentless,
isn't it? From the pundits as well, saying, "Oh,
pundits are sucking him off every pass he does."
Yeah. So I guess players probably get tired from that. And then there was also that. I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of the game, like he made a point to like go up and shake everybody's hand and like hug them and stuff.
You can is PR?
Yeah.
PR merchant.
He could be a PR merchant, I could see your point, or he could just generally be kind of like that true leading sort of example. He's definitely like future captain of England, I think.
So that means nothing to me.
Yeah, I know it means nothing, but I'm just saying generally, players are probably a bit...
Future Real Madrid captain would be big.
Yeah.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah, I think he probably will take that mantle in the next 3 or 4 years.
If he's still there.
Yeah.
Because some people have questioned his quality. Obviously, he's had a great season in the first season in La Liga. Sometimes, you know, I don't want to hate. Obviously, I love the guy. Great player, and he is a good player. He's young.
But how you
sometimes you have a good season, and then you fall off.
Yeah, but then he's kind of like had a good season for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but not at Real Madrid.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but you know, you would have thought maybe he's going
Gareth Bale was booed off at Real Madrid, mate.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo used to get boos and had to prove himself time and time again.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if he scored 50 goals last season.
Yeah.
Next season, if he misses... There was a period where he didn't score in 3 games and Cristiano Ronaldo was getting booed. And that was pressure on him. You know, so it doesn't matter that Bellingham achieved La Liga Player of the Season. It doesn't matter that they won the league and the Champions League. It matters what he does next year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but I definitely do think that the England camp, especially the pundits and stuff, do like cozy up to him a bit too much. It's relentless, isn't it? That sort
it's like if it wasn't too much, I'd still be on. I'd be on it. It'd be like, yeah, great guy.
Yeah,
but it's like when you're shoving it in my face. It's like you know when you're giving me a movie recommendation, and it's like you just relentlessly chuck it in my face, and like even to the extent where you buy me the DVD, and then I just leave it at home because it just puts me off.
That I gifted you, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
like
must
8 years ago?
Yeah. 8 to 10 years. You gifted me that. It's still in the seal. Perfectly packaged.
You know,
I'll gift it back to you.
No. In like another 20 years' time, that's actually going to become really valuable because it's still not broken the seal. I'll take it back then.
Talking of valuable business, Man United are doing bits, man. Somehow, they've dragged me back into this pre-season optimism that I always... repeatedly.
Did you say valuable business? Who did you sign that YOLO guy?
YOLO.
You only live once.
Liverpool wanted him.
Right. Okay.
Did you not want him?
We didn't want him for fucking 50 million and pay him 180,000.
Real Madrid wanted him.
Yeah. Not at the price that you paid, mate.
Doesn't matter. Did you want him?
And the fact that you...
The next Van Dijk, buddy. The next Van Dijk.
You're paying an 18-year-old 180k per week, mate. An 18-year-old.
180k is chilling. We've given more in the past.
Yeah.
So that's an improvement.
No, what that shows you, basically, any player can walk into the club and bend you over.
No, it's not any player. It's a player that Liverpool wanted.
Yeah.
You wanted.
You panicked.
A player that Real Madrid wanted.
And you thought, okay, what? We'll throw the most money that we could at this guy.
No.
Are you saying to me that you are happy that United paid 50?
We outbid Real Madrid.
Yeah. Real Madrid probably paid Mbappe less than 180k per week, yeah?
They don't.
No. It's not that far off.
They don't.
They're paying about 250,000 euros.
That's a lot. That's £70,000 difference, mate.
Right.
That's a big difference.
But are you seeing the difference between...
And you know what? The
Mbappe
image rights
at United would get about £2 million a week. Guaranteed. If not...
500k. He'd get 500k.
He'd probably get about 90% of the ticket share, the revenue of the club as well.
Okay, wait.
Right?
No, that's what he did at PSG. He didn't do that at United.
No, he would do it at United.
United have been 10 times better managed since the new Ineos leadership has come in.
Okay, we'll see. I think it's too early to say if they have.
Well, buddy, it's like 3 weeks until the season starts as Liverpool made a signing. Have you cleared any players out?
Who gives a shit? We'll see.
I'd rather have 2 signings in the bank and be linked with a couple more players.
You're getting shafted for
and be linked with a couple more players, getting business done, mate.
Right.
What have you done?
We'll see.
What have you done?
We'll see. Maybe Arne Slot thinks that we've got enough players.
Who?
Maybe
Who?
Arne Slot.
Who? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cute.
I completely forgot.
That's cute. When he wins the league in his first season, we'll see.
Amrit, I will bet you anything right now you will not win the league.
Should we put £100 wager on this?
£100.
Actually, £100. No, this is one of those wages where we will actually pay up the other person.
Well, it's live on camera.
You know how you owe me so much money over these little bets that you never pay up?
Sure.
£100, yeah?
£100.
I would say to charity, but I don't know.
I need it. And I'm going to spend that money in front of you.
Right. What are you going to spend it on?
I tell you what, let's reevaluate the terms of the deal.
Okay.
Right? If Liverpool don't win the league, you have to buy a United top with Euro on the back.
Okay.
If Liverpool win the league in the first season, I will buy which Liverpool player.
I don't give a fuck, bro.
Which Liverpool player do you want me to buy?
No, I want £100. I don't give a shit. You buy.
No. Which Liverpool top do you want me to buy? I'll get Slot. I'll get Arne Slot on the back.
But I still get the £100.
No, and then whatever's remaining, you get the rent money.
Fuck that. No, I won't.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. If Liverpool win the league, I give you £100. Mm-hmm. If they don't win the league, you're buying a top with Euro on the back.
Okay, that's fine. I'll agree to that. I want my full money, mate. I don't give a shit about you buying a Liverpool top or not.
Honestly, mate, there's no amount of money that will make me happy than you wearing a United top with Euro on the back. For me,
I would rather take the
Priceless.
Okay. I don't give a shit. I would rather take the £100.
Yeah, and you got to wear it.
Go to the Hawk. You know.
Yeah. Well. Right, well, that's enough from us. Watch this space.